speaking of the conspiracy theorists, let's talk about your jab that you want to take at the conservatives. Because we got to get to your stuff.
I didn't know if we were going to get to that or not, but I'm glad that we're able to get to it because there's this thing that I see that is like driving me crazy. And I say drive me crazy in like a fun way. Like, I don't mean like it's really making me stress or I'm losing sleep over it. But it's so interesting. And this is just a friendly jab, but it's still a jab because we had to still jab. I think that's necessary. But to the conservatives, because the conservatives, at least the ones that I follow, I won't say the names on this platform, but maybe another time. But the conservatives that I follow, and I see this oftentimes, is that quick to combat the left's whatever story they have or the left's opinion that they say is truth, right? And a lot of the times we know that what the left is saying is false, right? We know that it's based in emotion and oftentimes it's not really based in the fact. And sometimes it is, blah, blah, blah. But what happens is the conservatives come back and say, no, that's not true. This is true. But it's like, what different did you do than what they did? Like, nobody proved nothing. They just said their opinion, So whether your opinion is right or wrong, and we all do this, but I'm pointing out this specific case is that the conservatives will point out the lie, but they don't bring any receipts. So, for example, this whole thing with the vaccine are giving people heart attacks and they're dying, right? Uh-huh. That's a big thing. A lot of conservatives jumped on that now, and then like every time somebody dies of a heart attack, the conservatives posted on Instagram saying, see? Now, I'm not denying that that's not true, right? But I'm just saying, like, why should we believe you? You know what I mean? Like, what are you coming with to prove that that's the case? Because to me, on the outside, even though I wouldn't be surprised if it was true, but for me, I'm thinking like, okay, that sounds like a conspiracy theory. You know what I mean? That's what it seems like to me because it's like, prove that the vaccine and this are a part of it or no one is going to believe you. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like, if you're going to do that, when I look at that, it looks silly to me because I'm like, you're saying something, but you're not proving nothing.
Right.
You know, it's just a reach to me. And I see conservative and they're like, see the left, people on the left, they don't get it. You guys better start waking up. It's the vaccine. Well, is it? Because right now you ain't convincing me that it is. All you're doing is saying that it is. And I don't know you. You know what I mean? So that's just my thing is that, like, just because you're a conservative, just because you're a Christian, and just because you may have insight, it still don't make you the one that we all should believe. You know what I mean? I don't know you from, what I saying? I don't know you from Adam. So it's just like, if we're going to do that, and I probably have done stuff like that too, but if we're going to do that, come with it so then people can't say we're a hypocrite. They can't say that we're arrogant. We can't say that we're full of ego and we're just controversial. If we come with the facts, they can't deny it. So I just see conservatives do that a lot. They just reach at everything, and you're not really proving it. And I don't know if you really knew, because if you really knew, why aren't you proving it? So I just had to say that to the conservatives because it's driving me crazy.
With that specific topic, I think it would probably be kind of hard for even a doctor or what's the person in the morgue who inspects the body?
Coroner?
Yeah, the coroner or whatever they do, the autopsy people.
Yeah.
It would be hard for them to prove it. They would have to kind of correlate it to the statistics and see if the correlation is greater among the vaxxed than among the unvaxxed, and whether it's higher, whether they're higher, and they'd have to isolate out like the other factors going into what has changed. So a lot has changed.
So you're basically saying that it'd
be hard to prove.
Be hard to prove. Oh, okay, I see.
It's hard to prove for anybody to prove.
Okay. That's a good point. That's a good point.
I think it's a valid suspicion. Of course, I disavow it for the sake of my channel.
Yeah.
But I do notice that you are right. Like, I see it with other things. they hear something about somebody
Yeah.
and then they say it's true.
Yeah.
Or they see somebody acting funny
Yeah.
and they call Joe Biden a pedophile.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And they don't know. They haven't
Yeah.
seen what Joe Biden's up. I mean, I've heard some things about his daughter's diary and stuff,
Yeah.
which I don't really want to get into, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's some weird things,
Yeah.
but they jump to conclusions
Yeah.
so easily.
Yeah.
And
That's my point.
you've seen people turn on one another, gossiping, males
Yeah.
gossiping.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I've seen
Quick to do
Jesse
it, too.
do is like, you don't say something that you don't know to be true.
Yeah.
And
Is it-
you say, according to the reports, this is what happened.
See this, and to add on that, what my point really is, because those are good points, is that maybe some stuff is just hard to prove, and it's
Right.
almost better to
Better safe than sorry, for sure, with
to-
regard to the vax.
right, but
I
to
think.
combat to have an opposing view that could be the possibility is not a bad thing. Like for them to
Sure.
say, "Oh, okay, well, they're lying to you. They're lying to you."
Right.
Is not a bad thing considering that maybe they are lying, and we've known them to lie.
Right.
But my point is the arrogance attached to it, as if the logic that is unmoving, that is like, this is what it is, you guys are dummies. Right? Because the energy to me of that feels like it feels like, who are you? Right? Because it's like, no, it's the heart attacks are caused by the thing. You know what I mean? It's like making an absolute statement when
Right.
if there's no evidence that we can really prove, then how do we know that that's the case?
Open your eyes, bro.
Yeah.
Wake up, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
Why don't you take the vax then, bro?
yeah, I know,
If you-
like, it's just like so extreme
Yeah.
and absolute. And to me, even if you're saying the truth, it's off-putting to me.
Yeah.
It's just off-putting. It's just like, there they go again.
Right.
And it becomes, it's no longer about the truth you're getting out. It's more like you being the controversial figure to me.
Right.
And it's not intentional, because I know a lot of people who do it mean well, but it just comes off with the unintentional arrogance, because it's like, you know it, you got the answer. They're liars, they're wrong, they're evil. Listen to me, don't listen to them. Don't have your own mind. Listen to me, I'm telling you the truth. That's how it comes off to me. So that's why the jab, I'm glad James brought that up, because the jab was with the intention to explain how it's coming off.
Right.
And it's very extreme and arrogant and reachy. It's not like, maybe I could be wrong. It's like, no, I'm right. It's the vaccine that I can't prove. It's the vaccine. And it just comes off wrong to me. So that's just my point.
There's a rule that some people have said that if the liberals or such and such group say one thing, the establishment, believe the opposite.
Yeah.
But that's not a good rule.
Yeah.
JLP has made the distinction between an intellectual mind and an intelligent mind.
Yeah.
Have you heard that before?
Freshen
Have you heard him talk about that?
me up.
What would you say is the difference between being an intellectual and being intelligent?
Or intellectual or intelligent? It
Yeah.
sounds like the same thing to me, is it?
No, because intellectuals are in their head. They're not spiritual. They don't have common sense. They cling to knowledge,
Okay,
and yet they have no wisdom.
okay, so intelligence
inte-
would be wisdom.
Intelligence
Okay.
is more like wisdom,
Okay, so
and you can process information in a right way
Okay.
rather than
Yeah.
clinging to it
Yeah.
and knocking people over the head with it.
Yeah.
and jumping to conclusions.
I think that's the perfect example. Is
Yeah.
intellectualized versus wisdom, because wisdom knows, and this is so true. Wisdom knows that if it's the truth, you're not trying to bang it over nobody's head.
Yeah.
Like, you just know, you don't have the desire to do it.
And you know when you don't know.
Yeah, you know when you don't know, exactly. And when you know, you especially when it's received through insight and you have that light about it, there's no energy to try to preach it. It's just like, I know it, and you just share it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't even know how to properly explain it, but the point is that wisdom knows not to jump to conclusions.
Right.
That's how it seems to me. It's like, okay, you have the truth, but is it intellectual? Because why are you going so extreme with it? So I
Right.
think that's a perfect point. I think, in my opinion, that the people who are doing that in those moments, they've intellectualized what it means, and then they're excited that they're uncovering something, so they just go hard with it, and with the hopes of it being the thing that wakes up the world. But
You know, he says it, JLP explains it simply. I don't remember if I have the exact words, but he said the intellectual mind accepts and rejects information, whereas the intelligent mind neither accepts nor rejects.
say that one more time, slow.
The intellectual mind accepts and rejects different things.
Yeah.
Quick to accept, quick to reject
Yeah.
different things. Whereas the intelligent mind neither accepts it nor rejects
Ooh. That's it.
it. Isn't that nice?
That's it, church.
Yep.
That's it right there. That's so true. It's like you're not holding on to either or. That's why I say, and I'm not saying I'm that, but that's why I say is that I'm not ball or flat, because like I'm not trying to hold on to either, because to me it's like, why?
Right.
Like I'm still
It's
have
a
to pay
dumb
my
thing to
bills.
fight about it.
I still gotta pay my bills. I still gotta figure out what I'm gonna do next. I still
What
gotta
good does
meditate.
it do?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like for me that protest about it is like doesn't change my reality.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm saying, like that second part you said with there's no accept or reject. Cause why? You can be wrong and it's okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I like what I'm gonna quote. I'm gonna put that on my Instagram. I'm gonna quote.
Nice.
I'm gonna put that in my bio.
Yeah, that flat Earth stuff. They some of the reasons that they believe it is, one, because they lie. The liberals lie and the establishment lies to us in so many different ways.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they lie about the shape of the Earth?
Yeah.
And then two,
Yeah.
because if we're just an insignificant spinning ball in the huge big space, we're insignificant, but God made us special.
Yeah.
So it tickles their emotions and their ego to feel like God thinks we're special.
Yeah.
But we're not that special either. God loves us, but we're
That's
not
so
special.
true. And in both ways, somebody is being aroused by the same wrong nature, or
Right.
like emotion or
Yep.
whatever. So
They're both
it's like,
being women.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
They're both being women. So it's like you have your, and that's what I mean by the conservative thing. Not all conservatives, and not in every situation, but to me it seems the same. It's like the arrogance is the same on both sides, and not everybody.
Yeah.
You know, there's not everybody's that way, but it's like you have the arrogance with the truth, and they have the arrogance, quote unquote, with the lie.
Yeah.
But it's still arrogance, and it's still out of pocket.
No
So,
wonder Christianity and the conservatives are losing. Because
Yeah,
we're just a
that's it.
miniature version of evil.
Exactly.
Just on the right side.
Right.
But the wrong side's going to win because the wrong side is better at being evil.
Yeah.
Terrible.
My mind's blown at this conversation.
Well, thank you, Joel.
Yeah, that was good. No,
That's
that
a
was
great
good.
segment.
Yeah, thank you for that quote. That's going on the bio.
Yeah. Nice.